Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I have been MIA. I'm meant to be here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but guys, I'm going through what I would call end of year exhaustion, end of year fatigue, whatever I want to call it. And Uncle Ben's prayers have been answered because guess what? I've had to go into what I have to go into the office every single day this week. If you don't know, Uncle Ben is my biggest hater when it comes to the fact that I work from home for the most part. So that's not the case this week. And it's just been crazy. You know, that whole analogy of how you need to use the bathroom and you've been doing very well until you get to the door to your house and then your hands are shaking, you can't put the keys into the keyhole. That is exactly what is going on, where I have around 3 weeks off work this holiday period, and I'm so close. I literally have about a week and a half to go on annual leave, and now I'm just so tired because I'm at the end and I almost feel like I can't cope. But anyway, it's normal. It's been a long year, a busy year, so we're at the end now. I'm very thankful. Let me see. Sister Rose. Is already saying Ben go sack you. But it's true. Uncle Ben is my biggest hater. Anytime, Abby, you're working from home. He's always very jealous of us that work from home. Anyway, good evening, Sister Rose. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to get straight into it because I'm trying to leave here in an hour and a half. I mean it this time. I actually do. And to be fair, there's not much to talk about. There's not that many updates, to be honest. Tired of the two-faced situation. God will help them. There's nothing really in terms of updates based off of the things that I've spoken about already. So we're just going to get straight into it. First things first, I feel like with this particular topic, right, anything that concerns women versus men or any sort of gender wars can be very funny because it's very easy for things to be misconstrued. It's very easy for people to be angry. Um, we see this on the internet all the time. So I really had to think about arguments. I'm just nah. However, I figure that I believe, right, because it is my own opinion, other people may not feel the same way. I believe that I am in a position to speak on this because I believe that I'm very balanced where this is concerned. I've said this on many occasions. I'm a feminist, and I do believe that everybody should be feminist, right? But I also understand why people have made a decision to not identify as feminists. I get it. But my question here, usually at this point, when I hear women especially say, "Oh, I'm not a feminist, I don't want to be called feminist," my question usually is why, right? Because at the end of the day, we know the definition of feminism, we know what it means to be a feminist. Why are you shying away from that because of this negative connotation that it now has, which actually is mostly on the internet? I have a real life out of the internet, and I have never seen all of this toxicity in real life. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I've never seen it in real life. So you're telling me that, like many other things, you've decided to take the internet, a particular part of the internet, seriously. And that's the reason why you don't want to identify as a feminist, or you don't want to identify with feminism. And I think it's very weird because we all live real lives and we know what it means. What does it matter if there's a group of toxic people that have decided to redefine feminism? What does it matter? The best part about my life on social media is how I personally, my algorithm is very interesting stuff. Funny videos. My algorithm is weddings, fashion, beautiful things. So all of these every day fights, 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 fights. I don't get to see these things, and it's something that I'm proud of. I have trained my algorithm in a way that suits me, you know, and that's that. Um, Sister Rose is saying we should all be feminists. Chimamanda Adichie, exactly, exactly. Honey baby's here. Good evening, sis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. So I don't get why people think that there's some sort of pride that comes with saying I'm not a feminist. I'm sorry. We should all be feminists, and it's not something that you should hide. I've used this analogy before, and I'm going to use it again. With anything, when it comes to a belief system, there are always going to be extremes. There are always going to be extremists. That's what you don't understand. Same thing with Christianity. I'm a Christian. I know that most people on this platform are Christian because we have Sunday school on here. I'm familiar with most of our core real fam as well. Most of us are Christian. And we cannot say because of certain denominations of Christianity, we're just going to decide to not, identify as Christians. We can't say that because, yes, you're Christian, you have your own doctrine that you believe in, you have your own denomination that you're a part of, you believe in it, right? You follow it. At what point are you going to say, I'm not Christian because this particular church, this is what they said, or this is what they do? Or I'm not Christian because I don't believe in paying tithe or certain things. It is the same thing. With any sort of belief system, there are always going to be extremists. Now, identify with the part that you're interested in and leave the rest. It is not enough because there are toxic aspects of it. It is not enough to now remove yourself and say, I'm not a feminist. Because at the end of the day, what is feminism? We've said this all the time. We know the definition, right? Feminism is just wanting equality, equal rights, equal opportunities for women, where men are concerned, because already men have all of these opportunities. Now we want equal opportunities. That is simply what feminism is. Anything else is nonsense. Now, I'm going to address another aspect, which is those that have decided they want to redefine feminism. Please, before you redefine any word, ask yourself if you're a linguist. Ask yourself if you're in a position to change any word in the dictionary. Like, what has given you that qualification? Who are you? What are you? That's my question. Like, I don't get it. There's people now that want to come and say, oh, feminism is not about equality, it's about equity. Please, who gave you the power to change definition of words? Are you defining it for yourself because of what you want? That is fine. But trying to force it down our throats about what feminism means is weird because, again, did you study English language? Do you hold any position in the world, that gives you the power to change words that already exist? And then you have to ask yourself why you want to change a word that already exists. Why? Based off of what? Right? Please, if you're just coming in, like, share, subscribe, the usual. Now, I'm going to explain to you why it sounds very crazy saying that feminism is about equity. Because basically, equity is, first of all, I mean, there's obviously different definitions as always, but equity is about asking for fairness. You now have to ask yourself, why, as a human being, am I asking for fairness because I'm a woman? Do you see yourself as that small? Do you see yourself as beneath men? Are you a slave? Why are you asking for something that should be freely given? In another definition, equity will be asking for a percentage. And I've asked before, if you ask for something and it's given to you, what happens if you're not given enough? What do? You start the fight from the beginning, right? That is why it doesn't make sense to say it is about equity. Because let's use a company, for instance. You've put a lot of work into it. Let's say the company in this, for context, is your marriage, right? You put a lot of work, a lot of of working to your marriage, you've had children, you contribute heavily financially. Obviously, in every marriage, you contribute emotionally, support, all of that stuff. When you now finish, you now start begging your husband for equity. So if your husband decides to give you 2% out of 100, is 2% worth all of the work and all of the dedication? That is why saying that feminism is about equity makes no sense. Because then you cannot control how much is given to you. And that is not what we should be fighting for. We should be fighting for equity. And then again, like I said, you ask yourself, who are you to redefine a word that has already been defined even before you were born? What position do you play in the world that gives you the power to redefine a word? It is a very simple concept. There's no need to overthink it. That is all I want to say for my introduction. Now, hi Uncle Ben, welcome, sir. Honey Baby say most of them don't understand the history of feminism, such as the suffragettes getting the women's vote, etc. Exactly. So personally, I'm just a bit upset at the group of women that feel the need to change the basis of feminism. We know what it is, we know what it entails. I don't know why you're trying to force us to change it to equity. Why do you want equity and not equality? I don't get it. I do not get it. Anyway, like I said, I believe that I'm a feminist that is very balanced. I believe that I'm a feminist that is also against toxic feminism, which is why it was important for me to speak about this. So the other day, Maraji came out. She basically gave her opinion on toxic feminism and misandry, etc. I think it's also important that I point out that Maraji is a content creator. Maraji is a content creator, and what that means is that occasionally, when you look at the life of a content creator, you have to wonder what the content is about. Sometimes content is content. They understand. I say this all the time. Every content creator knows the power of their audience. Any content creator that tells you otherwise is lying to you. They have a rough idea of what is going to happen. On here, Uncle Ben has been holding masterclass on YouTube. I have a lot of knowledge about Instagram and TikTok because I've been an influencer before. I have a lot of friends. If I have 10 friends, 6 of my friends are full-time content creators, right? I'm telling you, 6. That's me keeping it very, very. In fact, I can't count. At full-time, that is their full-time jobs. They have thousands and thousands, even some millions of followers. So I have to hear stuff all the time. We go out, it has to come up because we have to wait. Everybody has to get pictures, etc. You know the life of a content creator. And any content creator, I'm telling you now, any content creator that tells you that they don't know the power of their platform is lying to you, right? That is why when a brand approaches a content creator, they know how much to charge because they know the numbers. They can go on YouTube. They call it, Uncle Ben was teaching us, they call it YouTube Studio. On Instagram, call it analytics. Your analytics is what makes you know that, this post, it costs £2,000 because you know the numbers. A brand as well will approach you and they want to see your analytics to know if you have the target audience you're looking for, all of that stuff. So when I'm saying this, because a lot of times people tend to react emotionally to content, forgetting that is actually what the content creator wants. And don't get me wrong, content creators are human beings too. So it means they're allowed to be emotional. It means that they're allowed to come out and say things the way they are. After all, we make jokes these days about how all of our faves, once they get on podcasts, we start to see them a funny way because now you're hearing the thoughts of people because they're human beings. You might see them as the perfect actress, the perfect musician, or the perfect artist, the perfect this and that. But they are not because you're human beings. So sometimes when you hear their views on politics or when you hear their views on women or their views on men, you're not like, who the heck is this? Is this what I signed up for? Who is this person? Exactly. Because regardless of how much you love them, they are human beings first. before they are creators. They're human beings first before they are anything else. So when the more you hear somebody talk and leave their craft or their niche, you can start to see them for who they are in quotes, and then it could be an issue. You either love them more or you love them less, or even begin to dislike them because now they've left their niche, which in Maraji's case is kids making, right? Now she's sharing her thoughts, and it's like, okay, we like you for your content. Where is this coming from? But that's the thing about human beings. You're not Maraji's sister, so you were never supposed to know this part of her, right? I just think it's important to say that. Now, in terms of I've seen a few comments about, oh, marriage doesn't disturb anybody, etc. Again, chances are, if you're in the public eye, right, if you have a public platform, and I've said this so many times where I've struggled with coming back to create content because I basically went through this phase of not understanding why this many people felt the need to come into my DMs. Something happened in my life and a lot of people were privy to it. And I was getting the attention I was getting, I did not like it. And it made me really, really think about how I felt about social media and being a public figure in quotes. Because again, I'm like, why do you think that you have a right to come into my DM and ask me these questions? But that's the thing about putting your life out there. People now feel like they have bought into you. Yes, they have shares. Yes. I'm the reason that now she can afford this lifestyle because I made her who she is. That's how social media works. People know that they are the ones that are making you popular. Making you popular means that you have opportunities. Opportunities means that you're getting richer. Now they can see your lifestyle. You bought a new car, you bought a new this, you have, you have a nice house, you have a nice studio setup. People now feel like, well, I added to this lifestyle, so I have a right to request this and that. I really had to think about how I felt about social media and these many people having access to me. Or even there was a period where I won't post. People come and harass me. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Stuff like that, right? But that's how social media works. You put stuff out there, people are going to feel like, you know what, we're interested, right? Cool. Maraji has had a few, should I say, what's the word? A few viral moments that weren't very positive. She had the one where her now husband cheated on her with another woman and broke up with her to be with that woman. She came, she cried. Again, being a human being, chances are she was just really, really hurt. And she has a platform. People also don't understand that a lot of social media influencers or whatever, a lot of people are lonely. We talk about it all the time. A lot of people don't have real friends or don't feel like their friends are not going to be judgmental. So they come on the internet and cry. You may not understand it because you don't have a platform and you think it's silly, like, oh, where's your family? Where are your friends? Why are you coming online to cry? Some people actually feel like they need that's what they have. They don't feel like they can speak to their friends without any judgment. And they decide that, okay, you know what, these my followers are my people, they're my family. And if anyone has ever had a platform, you will know how that feels, where you have this constant, let's say 100 people that seem like they care about you. It starts to look like a little family. But it's 100 people, and 100 people is a lot. Is a lot. But I know how that feels. There's so many people that I speak to on the internet that I forget that way. I haven't met you. They're just my constant supporters. If I drop anything now, they're first to comment. First, oh my God, girl, give it to us, hot, hot. These all sorts of comments. And sometimes I'm like, wait, I've been doing this for this. In fact, there's this lady that reached out to me where I've known this lady since I started my Instagram career. I've never met this lady before. She used to live in London. Now she moved to France after she got married. She now even has 2 children. She's a bit older than I am. I've never met her before. It doesn't feel that way. It means that I have spoken to this lady for 10 years. Because Instagram started when I was at uni. I'm about 8 years out of uni. So about 10 years is when I started to speak to this woman. Constantly, to the point where we now have each other's numbers. And it's the same thing here with even real fam. We have that rapport as well, where sometimes it's like, I'll speak to Sissy, I'll speak to Uncle Ben. I'm like, you actually haven't met these people in real life. But that's what the internet does. It's still some form of communication. You start to build a bond. So you see why people get comfortable, get vulnerable sometimes. But again, if you have 3 million followers and every time you have a live stream, 1,000 join your 1,000 constant, consistently join your live stream, then you think that 1,000 is your family in a sense, right? Your community, like we call it on social media. And again, most of the time, what is expected is 10%. So it means if you have 100,000 followers, analytics, when you want to know your analytics is good, based off of like even a brand reaching out to you, it is 10%. So 10,000 people. When somebody has 100,000 followers, 10,000 people is small to them. It doesn't sound like 10,000 to you that doesn't know how a platform works. So I'm not going to be one of the women that bash Maraji for coming to cry. It's not something that I would do. It's not something that if my friend came to me, I would advise them to come and cry on the internet, because I know the repercussions of that. I know that the internet never forgets. And you're just a couple videos away from people using that against you. So it's not something that I support or I would do, because again, I've seen it over time, where even if you had the best of intentions, even if you were just being human at that moment, it would be used against you, just like it's being used against Maraji right now. Because at the end of the day, I say this all the time. There's nobody that hasn't had downtime. There's nobody that hasn't had a heartbreak. The only difference between me and Maraji, you and Maraji, is that nobody knows you. Nobody knows me. Maraji has millions of followers. So even if you come and cry, who's going to watch it? No, like I mean this. I'm not even trying to be rude, but who's going to watch it? Because who knows you? Nobody. So the difference between me and a public figure is the fact that they have a following. So a lot of times when you see them make mistakes, bro, you're not that different from them. The only difference is that nobody knows you. I'm sorry to be blunt, but that's the truth. So we all go through the same things. It's just that these people's life is on blast. I saw a video of Funke Akindele yesterday after all the dancing, or was it 2 days ago? After all the dancing that she did this weekend for her movie, December movie premiere. All the dancing, all the up and down. I can imagine that the filming, the marketing, this woman hasn't slept. Everybody knows that Funke Akindele is always bubbly, always smiling. The one video where they saw her, she wasn't smiling, and she told the fans to please not film her. That's what is going viral now. People are bashing her on TikTok because she's not a human being. You two that saw her, the way she was walking with very little energy, her countenance, you did not see that she does not look like somebody that. But you now, in your house, if they tell you to go and wash plate or whatever, you start grumbling, you start crying. But why? Because it's Funke Akindele and she has a following. Oh, she's not a nice person, she's mean because of one video out of the many that we saw her dancing and bubbling and happy. Like, come on, guys. Anyway, after that one, she came to cry, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I don't know how it happened. They reconciled. Her and the man reconciled. And she's now married to the man. They did a very low-key parlor wedding, like they call it. They are married now. I think they have 2 or 3 children and all. A lot of people found the other girl and they went to drag her. That's another thing about social media content creators and thinking you have to think things through. If I post this thing, what's going to happen? Chances are your followers want to fight for you because they love you. So they fought the girl at that time. They dragged her, all sorts of things. But she reconciled with the man. She married him. But now what made that a scandal is the fact that the other woman was dragged instead of Maraji's husband, the one that was the cheats and the one, as always, right? Let me read some comments. Uncle Ben is saying, please hit like. Please hit like. Thank you. He's already saying, damn, she put her business out like that. A lot of content creators, they get to a breaking point. Again, like I said, it can be a bit lonely. I honestly, I don't judge them for it because I've seen it. I understand it. I understand the crash out. It gets too much sometimes. Social media, me neither. I agree. Honey Baby, I agree. He's already said, I never thought to come to the internet to talk about my problems. Exactly. It's not my style not even when I created content. But again, I think I know the business enough to know how they get to that point, which is why a lot of my friends, some of them I met on Instagram, the ones that are my core friends I've known for years, they will tell you that whatever you've done, it's very important that you have your original friends, your original support system. And then, of course, it's very important that you have industry friends for obvious reasons, just like anything else, you network, right? But you see your core friends, very important. The ones that you know that they won't take your business outside, etc. Very, very important. Anyway, the next one that Maraji had was this scandal where she said there's only one way to heaven. No Allah, no Buddha, no Krishna, no evolution, only Jesus. This was posted around Eid and she got a lot of backlash because people were like, come on, man. Come on. You are Christian, we get it. You are devoted. Anyone that knows, I don't know if anyone knows this. Maraji she's a very devoted Christian. To the point of even there was a period where she wasn't wearing earrings. She used to tie her hair. She's not used any products on her hair, not because she believes in natural hair, but because of her faith, right? I'm not sure what denomination is, and I'm not going to go into that. So we know that that one, she's a baby, Jesus baby, like they call it on the internet. So people were like, Maraji, this is very weird. You don't talk about other people's religions like this. It doesn't make sense. It is wrong. Blah, 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 blah. So obviously it became a whole issue. And she obviously had to put down the posts and all. But again, like Sister Rose is asking, did she do that for a reaction, to get a reaction? Maybe. Sometimes content creators do crazy things. It's just that for me, I always say this. When it comes to race, when it comes to religion, I don't think people should be using that for content. By all means, if something happens, for instance, how we have the genocide in Nigeria, by all means, we know what it is. Call it what it is. They even know what it is. But to now say because of that, this particular religion is this and that, that's where for me, I draw the line personally, and I don't agree with. Anyway, we're going to go on now and play the video of what Maraji said, and then we'll get into it.
Patriarchal system, everyday misogynistic. If you've seen any of these feminists on TikTok, share their opinions or just, lament, one thing you will find is that they seem quite angry, they seem quite crazy. I feel like there are two extremes when you look at some of these videos from these feminists on TikTok. One is that you think that these opinions are baseless. Basically, you think that these women are just out of touch, they are just crazy. That's an extreme to me, because if you are in touch with society, how every day on the pulpit is one sermon or the other about submission and barely any accountability when it comes to what leadership entails. What does it entail? What does it mean to die for your bride? There's not been a lot of seminars about that conversation, and so you just leave men thinking that provision or financial benefit is the only thing a man can offer, especially in today's world where women are also offering financial benefits. I mean, most of you, your mothers were not sitting at home. Your mothers were working. My mother was hardworking. In a society where women are still having to shave their heads off, having to still drink concoctions just because their husband died and they're trying to prove innocence, this madness that you claim is not baseless. Another extreme is thinking that these women are fighting for feminism. That's a lie. That's a bloody lie. They hate men. At this point, they just cannot stand men, to the point that their feminism has nothing to do with women. They would fight a woman just to prove how much they hate a man. It's no longer a thing where, like, wait to be that. Wait to be feminism. Wait till they call her equality. How? No, men should be trampled under their feet. Let them walk on men, trample them, squeeze them, draw blood. If you think that these women are normal, they are sane, you lie. You lie. Most of them, they don't go far. But the problem I have, and the concern that, or the reason why I'm making this video basically, is for the young girls. It's for the girls that see this type of content and they swallow it and they engage with it severely. And they think that truly there's something wrong with all men. I will always say this: nobody fear man past man. Nobody. The problem is not a man, the problem is evil men. I've watched many countless videos where I'll see a man harassing a woman and a men go still save that woman. As a woman, me and you fellow women, we are eye to eye. You know for a fact that they get some kind of women will be say, you know that this is the weapon fashion against me. You will experience a man and you'll be like, oh, this was very easy, this was very seamless. But women, now they go show you paper pass. So what do we say then? Who is stopping your growth as a woman? Is it just because he's a man? May everybody just decrease, may everybody just talk anything we want, so freedom of speech. But you as a human being, they collect time with discretion.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to play a reaction.
Going to school, drop your jobs, don't dream. Go and find a man to marry you. Beg any man to marry you. When they marry you, go into the kitchen and bake him bread from scratch. You uneducated witch. Then when you're done baking him bread from scratch, bake him some more muffins, bake him cookies. When you're done, go and spread your legs. Let him impregnate you. You dimwit. When he's done impregnating you, birth 7 children and even birth 13 more, because that's all you are. Dimwit. You're such a nincompoop to say that you're not a feminist. In this day and age. And don't forget, drop your phone too. Don't make any sexy TikToks of yourself, and don't even wear a wig. Yes, don't wear jeans. Go back and you know what you wear? An apron. That's what you should be wearing. Nonsense. Wear an apron and then go and stand in front of the kitchen and bake yourself in the fire. Cook all day and all night, and when you're done, wash his shit-stained boxers. Me, what I'll do, I'll go to uni. I'll have a job because I want to fight, and I identify with the fight that it took me to get here. But for you to sit down there and say that you don't care about the fight that women fought to get to this point, yeah, you're dumb as shit. So go back to a kitchen that doesn't belong to you, by the way, because how dare you own property, you witch? You're supposed to be under a man, right? Then go straight into the patriarchal system. Ask a man for money for pad and panties and diapers for your freaking children that are as many as the sand on the seashore. When you're done, make sure you don't raise your voice at your husband or complain that what he's doing is wrong. You must submit completely to his headship, witch. Stay in the kitchen, not even in the living room or in his room. Well, unless it's time for you to open your legs for him, and then go right back to the kitchen with your 17,000 children, you dim-wit, half-bred witch. And you may wonder, why am I cussing a woman out like this? Because this woman that I'm cussing out is not the kind of woman that I associate with. She's beneath me. And while you're at it, your bank accounts, close them. You don't need a bank account if you don't want to be a feminist. It's feminists that fought to have bank accounts. You have to earn everything through your husband's account, and he may or may not give you. I pray that you suffer under him. And when you're having postpartum depression, shut the hell up. Don't even go to doctors. Because how dare you benefit from a system that feminists are trying to fight for? You dumb woman. Go and read your Bible. Keep quiet and pray. Things will be okay. When your husband starts cheating on you, don't even bother going to a psychologist. Why will you benefit from anything? Stay there and pray on your knees. Beg the Lord to change the heart of your hardened patriarch so that he can look upon you with mercy. And when you start to get old and he starts to cheat on you, stay there. That's what you deserve. You made your bed. Lay in it, preferably with your legs open, because that's what patriarchs like. If you don't know, patriarchs have a very high sex drive. So get ready, witch.
Okay. Whenever I think about feminism, I think about choice. Whenever I think about feminism, I think about love. I think about empathy. I think about kindness. That's just me. And that's why, for me, even when a woman annoys me with their behavior, oh, I don't like that. I don't get it how you've been in a marriage where the man has been doing this and that with you for 15 years. Everybody knows me here. Honey Babies on stage can testify to this, where when I finish shouting, I'll come back and say, but then again, because for everything, as first of all, even as a woman, as a feminist, you need to lead with empathy and with love. Because one thing is that some women's standards will annoy you, but you need to also remember that feminism is also about choice. It's not a choice that you're going to take. It's not a choice that you're going to make. But you need to be able to respect another man's choice and say, you know what, I don't get what you're doing, but good luck to you. Now, when she sees the lies and she wakes up one morning and decides to leave, you don't push her away. I've seen this happen a lot on X, where you were celebrating men last week, so you don't deserve help. What does that make you? Now, this lady now that felt the need to say all of these things, I wonder why. You want to educate, right? This could have been a time to educate, right? The first, like what Maraji said, the issue here is not even the day-to-day man, the day-to-day woman, is the systemic failure. It's the fact that for every day, because this is where I don't like people being dishonest. For every time that we see a crime that has been perpetrated, I'm so sorry. Let's be honest, on this internet that we're seeing now, at least 8 out of 10 times it is a man. We're not lying about that. Me, I can see my own brothers, black men, 5 of them on one side of the road. I will cross the road to the other side. Would a man see me and 5 other women on one side of the road and have to cross the road? No. So the fear is very valid. The anger is very valid. But again, like most things, if you don't package things the right way, the message you're trying to pass across will fly over people's heads. That is where a lot of feminists are getting it wrong. At what point do you approach this with, what, I don't know the word, with love yet firmness? Because you have to be firm. You can't beg. The time for begging is over. But all these uneducated witch, dim bat, this one, that one, to what end? To another woman. So now you're a feminist, but you're also going against your own views of empathy and choice and, and kindness. It's crazy. Shopper Helper, welcome, sis. Good evening. Good evening, Auntie Yinkus Pepe. Good evening, sis. Auntie Yinkus saying she's so bitter. The message got lost in the curse word. Exactly. That's the problem I have with all of these videos. Honey babe, good evening, sis. Welcome.
Hey, it's not that deep. I don't know what to say. For me, she's taking it personally, and I've always said this, and I've said this on definitely this, this channel and different anti bees. As much as we don't like people's choices, I say this again and again, we need to respect people's choices, good and bad. So we need to respect people's opinion. You don't have to agree with it. And I think personally, this doesn't make sense to me. And I think this is kind of hinging on some mental thing, because it's not that deep. You may not agree with what the previous lady said, but there's no need for cussing and the witch and all the things that he said. Again, the message is lost in translation, because all everyone's going to see is a bitter, twisted, foul mouth lady, rather than actually being interested in what she actually said. And like I said this in the comment section, a lot of people don't understand the history of feminism. Feminism, and I've said this on the show, was all about equality of opportunity. That was, so basically, the vote. I don't know if you heard about the suffragettes. I think, that's something that was a poignant history in the UK, where women campaigned to get the vote, because I can't remember the years, unfortunately, because I wasn't able to prepare and research the actual dates. But there was a time in the UK where women were not allowed to vote. That kind of campaign in regards to women being able to have the opportunity like men, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's being able to vote, that was the foundation of feminism. And a lot of people don't actually understand that. Equality of equity is just, I don't know, people are just making up stuff because there's content and people believe they're educated enough to understand. But when you speak to historians, and a lot of the people that actually research, done papers, done and analyze the data, they will tell you about the history of feminism. But I think personally, I will say this: there's a lot of women that are very anti-feminism, and I find it very hypocritical because they benefit from feminism. The fact the fact that you're able to have the ability to make your own money, to be able to work, whether it's a content creation or to work, that is you having the benefits of feminism. So I think a lot of people that are anti-feminism, they need to understand that you're enjoying the benefits of people that have had to sacrifice maybe lives and fight and protest to have the benefits that you're having in 2025. And a lot of women don't actually understand that. One thing I will say is the same thing I say about gender wars. I don't understand it, because we say all the time that one bad woman is not, we shouldn't generalize women just on one bad woman or one bad situation with a woman. And hence when it comes to men. So I think the problem is that we should be able to believe whether you're feminism or not feminism. But I believe that every woman that has sense would want to be a feminist, personally. And one thing I will say is that for me, I think we need to stop tarring everyone with the same brush. There are some people that have taken their belief to another extreme and they've become toxic, which is very similar to this lady that we're seeing now. It's the same thing with what you mentioned, the whole religion and being Christian.
Yeah.
We talk all the time about bad churches, bad this, bad that. And we've always been told that do not generalize the whole of the Christian faith just on a few bad apples. It's the same thing when it comes to this. It's the same thing when it comes to this. So I think the problem is that there is a very small minority in this particular belief in terms of feminism that have basically destroyed the concept of whole of feminism. Because the feminism that I know, and going back to history, because a lot of people don't actually pick up a book to understand the history of feminism, is completely different to what we have now. There's a lot of toxicity. There's a lot of broken people that have latched on to a lot of, have latched onto certain belief systems, and they've basically made it seem like if you're feminist, you're toxic. I'm a feminist, you are feminist, Abby. We are not toxic people. So I think people need to understand and use critical thinking when it comes to feminism. There's always going to be in any belief system bad apples. That doesn't believe the whole system or the whole feminism or whatever it is, whether it's Christianity, that all of us, the whole thing is bad. So I think people need to use their brain cells a bit more and understand that not everybody is toxic.
Absolutely. Well said, sis. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Sister Teju is saying feminist toxicity is actually a subjective perception resulting from individuals' direct or indirect experiences. Amazing. So I think that I wanted to say something about this lady's reaction because, again, while this is Recap Central, I said in the beginning, I feel like I'm best suited to talk about this because I've always said it and I'll continue to say it. I'm a feminist and everybody should be feminist, right? And for those that were not here in the beginning, I said, all the women that shine away from feminism or being labeled in quotes as feminists, you're not doing yourself any good. There's no reason why you're sticking to a narrative that's been formed by the internet. Because ask yourself, Honeybee, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know any toxic feminists in real life?
I'm trying to think, but you are trying to
think because you don't.
I don't know. The problem is, and sorry to interrupt you. The problem is that I say this all the time. You have an individual that is toxic and they just happen to be a woman or just happen to be a man or just happen to be a feminist. And then for some reason, you now believe that all feminism is toxic. Make it make sense. And what they need to understand that you can't tar a whole campaign or a whole mindset just because of one individual. I can't think of any toxic feminists, but they probably are out there, but we just don't know. But I think the problem we have, I think the problem we have, like I said, is that every single woman, as far as I'm concerned, except for certain places where a lot of women are subjugated to men, most places, especially in the West, they benefit from feminism. So those type of women that are based in countries like the West, I just think they're hypocrites because they benefit from feminism. They benefit off the backs of people that protested, suffered, fought for the vote, fought for equality of opportunity. So I think you need to give homage to those people. All of us need to give homage to those people that allowed us to have what we have now in 2025, which is that we're able to apply for any job, we're allowed to vote, we're allowed to realize that women should be respected and allowed to be in the workplace. And you need to understand that's because of history and to respect that history.
Absolutely. I say this to say that if you're not taking parenting advice from the internet, if you're not taking marital, we talk about it all the time. You're married to your husband. Do you expect him to do what Offset would do for Cardi B? So does it mean that for every birthday that you have, you're expecting a Lamborghini, or expecting a Bugatti, or you're expecting like a 200 roses bouquet? You're not, because you know it's not realistic. The same thing with feminism. I don't know why, as women, we've drawn the line at feminism. Point is, you can't just sit there and take in this group of toxic feminists in quotes and decide that because of them you don't want to identify as a feminist anymore. To me, it doesn't make any sense, because you have to believe in something, you have to stand for something, and everybody should be feminist based off of the original, definition, not
Yeah.
any weird definition. Like I said in the beginning, all of this nonsense of, oh, feminism is not about equality, it's about equity. Based off of what? Who are you, Chimamanda Adichie? Who told you that you're in a position to redefine words that you did not create?
But it's like
Who
I
knows
said,
you?
sorry, Abby, most of these people that are coming online and talking about, they have never read a book in their lives. They have never gone back in history and actually understood what was feminism, what was the reason.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I said most of them, to me, I just call it's just all BS. It's just content. It's just trying to make yourself important and trying to make yourself relevant and trying to make out that you're clever when you obviously are not, to me. Because
Exactly.
to me, I keep saying this, it was about equality of opportunity. Women were not allowed to vote before the suffragettes protested in the UK. I don't think anybody did anybody know that? Have they picked up a book and bothered to find that out? That was the reason why there was such a
No.
protest.
You're even going far based off of you live in the
Am I
UK.
go? Of course, I'm going far because that's the
No, I'm saying that
original.
you're even going far. The women that are concerned, Maraji now, that's concerned now, that we're
Yeah.
talking about, that lives in Nigeria. How many times have we even heard where there were certain tribes that it was only the boys that would go to school? If the women
Yes.
went to school, it's because they found a suitor that trained them in school and would want to marry them in return later on. Like, these things have been happening. They still happen.
They still
Regina,
happen tonight.
Regina is because
Yeah.
of Regina is because of misogyny and patriarchy.
Can I mention something? My
So
mum's
many
sorry,
things
my
every
dad's
day.
sorry, my dad's sister, may her soul rest in peace. She's actually
And
deleted. She had a very high IQ. She was Muslim. So I think, obviously my dad's family were polygamous. My dad went to school, but my aunt didn't. She was immediately married off when she was 18 or 19. Yeah, you would have thought out of my dad and my sister and his sister, she should have been the one they should have pushed. But, obviously the mindset then is, oh, she's a girl, she should get married. And this happened, she was 80 something when she deleted. This happened in the last less than 18, 90 years. So this is definitely still happening. And you got women out there that are saying, I don't want to be a feminist. I mean, it's my mindset is that call out the BS, call out the toxicity, call out the people that are making it toxic, but stand firm on what you believe in, which is to be a feminist, because it actually helps you. And why wouldn't you want a world where there's equality of opportunity? Exactly. Why wouldn't you want? It's like me, we got local elections, I think, next year. You know that, Abby. Are you trying to say that me and you are not allowed to vote?
I'm not have a
Really?
say on our
You
own
understand in
community
what's
that we
happening in the
contribute
political
to.
world? For
Thank
instance,
you.
like I said, if we now apply for a job, can you imagine a world where, oh, we're not allowed to apply for a job, or we're rejected from a job because we're women? But these are the same women that have the opportunities to work from home, opportunities not to even work, opportunities to be content creators because of the feminism, but have the audacity to say that, oh, I'm not a feminist.
Even
Nonsense.
to drive, and also
Exactly.
to talk about extremes as well. I was where I was even going before I deviated was this woman on the screen. Yes, her choice of words, not my own choice of words. But I've spoken on here about social media etiquette as well and how I choose to come across on the internet. There's no point in being angry because at the end of the day, it's going to be misconstrued. If I'm angry when my friends are concerned, oh, Abby has a good heart. We love her anyway. She's a kind person. The internet doesn't know that because they're strangers. They don't know that, right? So you can't get away. You can't continue to explain yourself. So I just believe in certain things that you should do and a certain way you should conduct yourself on the internet for obvious reasons. And if I can be passionate about Two Face, if I can be passionate about anything else, if I can be passionate about, I don't know, what's trendy these days, Annie Idibia, why do you think that people are not passionate about feminism due to their own experiences? I said this today, earlier today, I saw a video somewhere, I don't even know, one of the platforms, where a man was visibly very angry because they did a what's it called, gender reveal, and he was having another girl after having two girls, right? And he was very hurt and he walked away from frame, out of frame of the camera. I remember thinking to myself, okay, there's disappointment that, oh, I really want a boy. Everybody has that disappointment, even the mother of the child. Like, oh, I have two girls already. It would be nice to have a boy. Fine. But then there's pure anger. Why are you angry that you're having another girl? Are girls not as important? But we've heard this, even growing up Nigeria, we've heard this a lot about certain families where, oh, boys would continue the lineage of the home and girls will not. It will get lost because they will marry somebody else, they will get married off, and then they will have to start their family with a man and begin to answer the man's name, etc. So we hear this all the time. I can talk about feminism like this, cool-headed, because I don't have any of those experiences.
Yeah.
I've never been essayed. I've never, do you understand? Do I have friends and cousins and all?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
have. Do I
Yeah.
grow up in my house? My
Mm.
father there was nothing that I've said it before on shows, nothing like gender roles.
Yeah.
Everything my brother does, I do. Everything I do, my brother does.
Yeah. That's
Same thing
how I was
I've
brought
said.
up. Yeah, with my brother.
Yeah.
Me and my brother.
Same
Yeah.
thing that I've said, even on Sundays, that whole thing of as a boy, you go and wash car. I had my Sundays to wash the car as well. Not because we did not have domestic staff, right? But because that was training. I mean, my dad is a soldier. I knew I've said this many times here. Soldiers don't play about that. That was training. So there's so many things. Same thing with like colorism. I was speaking to somebody the other day. I went for a work event on Monday. The person was telling me about colorism. I'm like, I'm a dark skinned girl. I've never experienced colorism before because when I was growing up, they used to call me Black Beauty. Not just my family, my community. I go and buy something down the road. Black Beauty. So for me, how can I understand a woman that they were telling her that she's ugly because she's dark skinned when she comes out to shout on the internet? I have to give her grace because I cannot understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Same thing with this feminism. There's one girl that was really, she's a popular ex-feminist. The number of people that have essayed her, including her own family, her cousins, her uncle, that girl has every right to be angry. That girl has every right to be angry. How don't you guys understand that? You don't have to accept it, scroll past, but understand her pain. She's not me. I've not been through that. So I cannot comment. I may not be able to console, but I can scroll past and not say that her anger is not valid. That's why a lot of people don't understand. Like I said, let's be honest with ourselves for a second. For every time we see a crime perpetrated, it is men. Oh, this man dismembered his girlfriend. This man beats his woman because she did not cook. Nonsense, rubbish. How many times is it women? Oh, women are bad people too. How many times is it women?
Yeah, we get that all the time. I think the issue is, Abby, like I said, is that it's a lot of generalization. I'm of the opinion, and we say, even in terms of shows where we talked about dating and relationships and men versus women, we've said it many, many times that, you've had situations where I'm a very level-headed person. I've been in quite a lot of, a couple of toxic relationships and bad relationships, but it doesn't stop me from understanding that not every man is toxic, not every man is emotionally abusive, and there are some great men out there. But I'm able to have the mindset and a positive mindset that it's just a case where I've had bad luck, probably made bad choices. But I think the problem is you've got a lot of people with trauma, and they're now, you understand what I'm saying? They are now using that trauma to now, whether they're from a viewpoint of being a feminist or not, they're now lashing out because, like I said, it isn't that deep. For me, I'm the type of thing, if I hear something I don't like, I scroll on or I make sure that I switch off my recommendation so I don't ever see that video again. That woman had no reason to react to, sorry, that lady's the first, the lady that said it's post. It's not that deep. There's always going to be something that someone's going to say that's going to cheese you off. Just choose not to respond to it and just keep it moving. But I think the problem is that there's so many people that have issues, whether it's trauma, and they just, content is just, all this, this social media is where people just like, rather than getting a sorry to say, a therapist, they choose to come on social media and start manifesting.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, honey babe. Sister Teju is here. Good evening, sis. Sister Teju, you need to unmute in case you're speaking.
Hello, Abby. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good evening, sis. Welcome.
I don't know, for some reason I can't hear.
You can't hear? Okay, do you want to leave and come back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, no.
Honey baby can hear her, right?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Sister Teja, I don't know what's going on. I can hear you. So maybe you should try and come back. Yeah, so that's basically it. I just feel like you have to understand people's trauma. It might not align with you. Like I said, personally, I wouldn't do a video shouting about whatever, but we have to understand. We have to understand that some people's energy towards the particular issue will be more than others. Anyway, let me play this video of what Chimamanda said.
I often say to young Nigerian feminists, I say to them, please do not use feminism to justify your wickedness, right? Because sometimes a woman, right? So you have some of these young women, I'm talking to them, and they sound really mean. And I say, you know what? This isn't feminism. You're just really nasty. I know that there are people, for example, for whom, people I meet for whom sort of my kindness comes as a surprise because I'm a feminist. Therefore, oh, you're kind. And I think, yes, because actually feminists are, we're human.
Absolutely. So Teju, welcome. Can you hear? I don't know. Can you try again?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I can hear you too.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I'm not that I'm confused because I know what feminism is. And I mean, I agreed with Oni Babe and you, of course. But it seems that the scope is wider when you hear people talking. The main concern for people that are actually toxic on internet about this whole concept is not really what this stand for. From my own understanding from listening to them. So they are more concerned in the relationship space, like husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. Do you understand? Not the wider community. What do I mean by that? Feminism is about equality. A woman being able to vote. A woman having the same standing on equal position as a man would. You understand?
Well, in the workplace, being the same.
In the workplace, being able to apply for a job and not being listed because you're a woman. We want to be able to apply for a job and give equal opportunity as a man applicant. All of this in this, level in the society, on that pedestrian. Do you understand? But the way all this toxicity online, they are not actually concerned about all of that. What they're concerned about is in the relationship space. Correct me if I'm wrong, because what I can get from all their argument is, actually this girl that giving us all sort of name calling to Maraji.
Yeah.
Maraji gave her own opinion. She did not abuse anybody there. She was only talking based on, again, in a relationship space, marriage or boyfriend and girlfriend. You came out, you're dishing out all sort of, name calling. How you presenting yourself like this? Are you not toxic? She is very, very
They are
toxic.
proving their right.
No,
They're
but
proving
exactly,
Maraji right.
you're just proving what she said. Do you understand? And
Yeah.
somebody said be a cider board. Yeah, I even told me
It
it
was
was cider board that was talking until I looked at that very well. Now, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
absolutely.
People are more concerned about boyfriend and girlfriend, which is, I don't really think that's the scope.
It's not.
That
Because
is not the
that's
scope.
based off of
They're
an
talking about me not submitting to my husband, me not submitting to my boyfriend. Who cares? That's your own personal choice. What the people don't demean, I mean, put
don't reduce it to that.
this struggle. Don't put it down to just marriage or relationship. No, it's a wider scope. It's a very big scope that encompasses everything. Our opportunities. Well, that's what we fought for. They fought for, and that's what we should be enjoying. So this is what I think I got from all the argument. I don't follow them. I don't even listen to them. At my age, will somebody come and convince me of that? Do you understand?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, yes, like what Maraji said, not for her, and again, not for me as well, but the people behind, the girls behind. If you don't want to, no one is saying submit to a man. Because even this submission, I think the pastors should go back and come back and go and study the passages, the Bible passages well. Because there is, again, when you just coin out a passage and you don't finish, a verse, and you don't finish the whole passage of the Bible, this is the kind of controversy that you're breeding. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Go and read about the passage in the Bible that talk about submission. It is wrong. What people are actually perceiving is that's not what the Bible is saying about the submission. Let's go back and read it, and not just a verse, the whole passage. Then we can then come back again and talk about it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Abby?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. We spoken
No
about
one is saying, I want
yeah.
to marry in my home. I want to, when I'm not back from work and my husband is at home, I want my husband to show empathy. Oh, my wife is not back from work. I don't want her to come. I'm home now. I don't want her to come back and not find anything to eat. Already, in most homes, the bulk of the soup are in the freezer or and the fridge already. So what stop a man from, let me make rice, let me make this, let me make spaghetti, let me make a bar. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
For my wife. And of course, my husband would, I would gladly do the same. The next time that I will be the one that will be home first.
First.
You understand? So that is marriage. No
That's
one is
being
saying that you should be on the ground and the man is now trampling on you, because this is what these ladies are propagating. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Like nobody should accept. You should fight. And you want a peaceful community? When you don't have a peaceful family, you cannot have a peaceful community.
And you know what is the problem I have, Sister Drew, is how after all of these things, they still don't want to share bills. They want the men to be provider and protectors. So I'm like, if
Thank
you're
you very much.
this way, you have to now remember that you have to keep the energy across the board. And it's
Across
long.
the board.
It's long when you want your man to fix the tires of your car. It's long when you want your man to make sure you always have petrol in your car.
Oh, God bless you, Abby.
It becomes long. So when it comes to relationships, I think everybody should have conversations and figure out what gender roles work for them.
Exactly.
I don't think that feminism should come into a marriage, because like I said,
Thank you very much. That is my submission.
exactly, if everybody is feminist, that means your husband is a decent human being. Because why would you not want to marry a man that believes in feminism, believes that you should support you in your career,
Exactly.
believes that you should earn a certain amount of money because you work hard for it, because you have X amount of degree,
Exactly.
And
you shouldn't even go into that marriage.
thank you. You now have that. You now have a daughter for that man. Remember that I said my own experience with my own father is that you are a beautiful girl. You deserve the world. You're working hard. You deserve all you're getting. So imagine marrying a man that is saying the opposite about to your daughter.
Yeah.
You have married wrong now, in my opinion. So my point is that even a lot of men that we have today, Uncle Ben, how many times me and Uncle Ben fight? Say, Uncle Ben, you are misogynistic. Uncle Ben is a feminist. Uncle Ben is a feminist because I know how he treats his wife. I know of how he treats his daughter. I know how he talks to me and treats me and the advice he gives me. It's only a feminist that will give me the advice that Uncle Ben gives me. Do you understand? But a lot of people are even shying away from feminism. I don't want to be called a feminist, but that's what you are if you support us the way that you support us. If Uncle Ben was not a feminist, I would not have my segment on this channel.
Exactly.
It's very
because it will just relegate you and say, you, what do you want to talk about?
Do you understand? Because I don't think, but the issue here is that we don't want to accept that we are feminists, and even within that feminism, there's also a spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much.
And the spectrum now is that this person now that is shouting on our screen is on the worst side of the spectrum.
Is she really on the spectrum?
It's what it is, because at the end of the day,
remember what I said outside the scope.
Remember I used Christianity as an example.
Yeah,
we're all Christians now, but there's a spectrum of the ones that were like,
okay, I think I have a name for her. They are scope creep.
Scope creep. Okay.
Yeah. So their idea is not within the scope of feminism. So they are not even on the spectrum. That's what I'm trying to say. But see, because they are bringing in ideology, just trying to hide.
But see, they have the right idea, but the wrong methods.
Okay, so tell me, maybe I don't know which right idea.
The reason why I would say this is because generally there's a fight anyway. All of them, obedient and them lots. The major issue is the anger. They are saving women from DV. They are saving women from real issue. That's why I said I'm not here. I can't sit here and now bash this extreme feminists, right? Because their extremity is just like the same thing we're talking about in Nigeria now with politics, where we say Trump should even come. That is extreme. But there's a point that things will get to where it's only the extreme that can work. That is what is going on here, where it's just like, why is it that every time we hear of these things, men are getting away with some sort of things in our community? So like I said earlier, I'm not going to lie to you. We cannot be begging them anymore. You need to be firm. But what I don't agree with is that you need to be wicked. There's women that say you have to be wicked to men, you have to do this, you have to do that. Who hasn't had heartbreak? But like I said, for every heartbreak that you have, for every issue you have with a man, if you let it take over your life, you're doing you. Because the man has moved on and is happy. You are bitter. You're doing yourself now. You're not, is it me? My mom would say, is it me you're doing? You're doing yourself. You're doing yourself. So of what use is it being bitter? But I'm not going to lie to you, Sister Jo. I can understand the anger. It's just that the methods are wrong. Because like I said, if we want to be honest with ourselves, how many times have we like, why are men doing what they're doing? It doesn't mean, but a lot of men want to tell us, women too what? Count it. How many times is it women that are doing these things? Like I said, I just said, if I'm walking on the street now, I see even black men that I believe should protect me. If I see 5 of them on this side of the road, I'm crossing the road. And I have to cross because I'm like, because I've been in situations where you go clubbing or whatever. You know how you go for a party to be packed. Somebody will touch your breast, somebody will touch your bum. It's now normal. When you look around, you don't know who because there's 7 men around you. It's true. That's what happens. That's how terrible men can be. But meanwhile, I'm in a party with black men that I expect to protect me because you are like my brothers. But instead, I walk past you guys and somebody touches a private part of mine and they laugh because they know I can't do anything. And that is why when I've had that experience with going out, partying and all, that's why I see a group of black men, especially, forget even white men for a sec. I'm speaking on black men because those are the people that I have expectations of. Those are the people that I have expectations of. And then I now go, I'll see 5 of them gathered in this corner. Sis, I have to cross the road. But guess what? If it was the case were reversed, where it was 5 women standing, a man doesn't have to cross the road.
No.
So it's not always even relationships. The fact that why do I feel unsafe in a room filled with men? Why do I feel unsafe to walk past a group of black men that should be my own protectors? They should see me as their own sister, at the very least.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, I've had experiences where men. I've walked on the street. I've walked past a black men that have said, "Oh my God, sis, you're so beautiful. Have a nice day." No advances, nothing. They just wanted to put a smile on my face. So when
Mm.
I with someone like me that's had such balanced experiences in my household, in on the streets, I've had balance. I've had bad and I've had good. I can't come now and say that black men are this or men are this because I've had balance. But there are other women that are not as lucky as me.
Mm.
Like I said, I know a girl on X where the day the girl narrated her story, only her
Mm.
cousin, her dad, her uncle, they've all RAP'd.
Hey.
That person now, when she was come and talk about feminism, please, do you think she's going to sound like me?
Nope. Absolutely no.
And that's the balance I wanted to bring on this show, where it's just like, listen, we cannot continue like this where we come across as angry.
Mm.
But do I understand why people are angry? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Look at that Celine and Afiba's case that time. What were Nigerian men saying? Why did you go to a man's house? So because I go to a man's house, it means that I should be quiet.
No.
So because I go to a man's house, it means that I have to be subjected to sex work.
Hmm.
Is that not? Do we not get to know men anymore?
Mm.
Now, as a human being, I know that there's certain things I know I cannot do. Now, that's because we say it all the time here, where when you're training your daughters, you also have to make sure they are street smart. Me, I know that I cannot go to a man's house
Mm.
on a first date and all. That's just me now
Mhm.
being smart and being protective of myself, right? However, we know of men that buy their wives. So at what point am I safe with a
Are you
man?
see? Exactly.
I
Yeah.
should not go. My mother told me don't go on first dates. My mother told me if you are going out at night, you know you're not getting a taxi, etc. Send your location. My mother has told me it's better to wear trousers, wear shorts underneath. You have taught me all these things to protect myself because that's what mothers do.
Mm-hmm.
But now, how am I going to protect myself in a marriage at this point where I'm supposed to
In a
trust?
marriage where you should be vulnerable, yes.
So you see how you them if you do, them if you don't. I
You
don't
should
even
be.
I understand why feminists are often angry. However, I just don't understand. I can understand, but I don't support it because I think
Yeah.
that
So,
methods.
if we don't speak to their anger,
Yeah.
and they need to learn, they need to do some unlearning. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody like this girl, she needs to, as long as, I mean, we understood why she's talking like this. We don't know for sure, but we can guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe our from our growing up, our experiences are not right.
Absolutely.
So for her to be more positive, to see views like you've just narrated, right? To see things like that, to change our views, she should be going for therapy. Because even this thing that she's showing on internet,
Mm.
I can bet you that with her submission and with her, raging and what she's talking about, if a little girl, not even a boy now, is beside her, she probably will be scared of her.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's not what you want. That little girl would not be, she's not part of your audience, who you're trying to talk to. So that is why not to be giving this kind of outlook. She needs help. Then at this point, we'll tell her, oh, you need help.
It's counterproductive.
It's counterproductive.
Yeah.
Even the way she's talking, I can bet you, I don't know where she is, but if she's in any of this, I mean, Europe, America, and she's working in a corporate setting or even somewhere, not even a corporate setting, anywhere, do
Mm.
you know that even our employers will be scared? Even with this kind of submission,
It's too much.
I'm only saying, I might be wrong, but I think even our employer would have, you know, a
It's
kind of
unnecessarily aggressive.
she's too aggressive, and that's what that is exactly what I am saying about it all. And it's on internet never forgets. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
So I don't understand all these little girls. They're just starting their life. You're putting so much out there.
She's the reason why I would talk to a man, I'm single now. If he comes up and I say I'm feminist, we had an argument here on I say, don't go and say you're feminist to man, no, because they are scared. Meanwhile, it should be normal. He too should say, oh, really? I'm a feminist too. We should be able to say
Exactly.
we're feminists, but because of women like this, now if you tell a man you're a feminist, he's going to ghost you because hey, we're. But actually, we should all be feminists. Why would
We
I
should
not
all
want
be,
to be
if we
feminist?
really know what this, what the content, what feminism is, we should all be.
Thank you.
And we are all enjoying it. We are enjoying the benefits. So why should we not be one? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But it's because of this extra, you know what? Let's try. God will help them.
Amen.
God
Let
will
me
help them. But this girl, oh, she needs therapy.
let me play a few more response because
Okay.
I promise I'm finishing at 1:30, 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay,
But
darling. Take care, my love.
so much, sis. Thanks for coming.
We are begging you, stop killing us, stop harassing us, stop touching our children, stop raping us. Please, men, give us right. We beg you, please, I beg, give us right. Let us walk, please. Let us vote, please. Please, when we come out for election, please, women need rights too. We are your mothers. We are your sisters. Please, we beg you. We beg you, please. Oh, please, men. Please, men. We beg you. We are the feminists. We are humble. We are begging. Give us right. Help us. Men, please. Please, oh, men. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Domestic violence, the rate is high. Femicide is high. Every day, women are dying. See, they are touching girls in the marketplaces. They are insulting them. Please, we are your sisters. We are your daughters. We are your mothers. Please, men, give us right now, even if it is small right. Small. Please, we are begging you. Please, we are rolling on the floor. We are begging you. Please, I beg. I beg.
Remember when I spoke about equity? That is what asking for equity looks like. Can you see how stupid it looks? Exactly. Why? Like, please, we're begging you. That's what equity looks like. Stop redefining words that have already been defined by the right people. You did not study linguistics. Thank you very much. Anyway, let me play a video supporting Maraji since I played one.
Can someone check on her for me, please? Can I know her offense? No, what is Maraji's offense? Yeah, this is Maraji. Can I know her offense? I saw over 3,000 comments on TikTok and I was saying, which day Maraji begin quarrel with people like this? Just because Maraji disagreed and pointed out the difference between feminism and misandry. Chimo, nothing that was not said to Maraji. They brought her past, her present, they even brought in her future. They dragged her future. Yes, so there is nothing I've not read. It made me run. I had to find Maraji's page on TikTok. And I said, let me watch this video. Let me digest it so that I will know how I can join them. If not, her leg make her bite. Guess what? I watched the video. What Maraji presented was a balanced video. A balanced video that addressed the social nuances women face and the reason some women could be angry. And then she also addressed misandrists masking themselves as feminists. Hey, but they jumped that first part. And why I call it a balanced video, she started with the nuance, with the issues, the social issues women face. But no, they jumped it. The same Maraji that a few weeks ago, they were calling her the Messiah, the chosen one, because she spoke against a man that talked about his emotional issues with pregnancy, how men get neglected. But no, the same Maraji, they were applauding, hailing her, calling her their queen. Now, so where is that women supporting women? That if people disagree with you, or if people call out what you're doing for what it is, what you would do, you attack their husband, you attack their children, you attack their family life, you attack even when they were vulnerable. They claim you're a girl's girl, even when they were vulnerable. You attack their friends, you attack everything. Times they cried out for help, you also use it to attack them. Now at this point, to some of you popular ladies, I am now telling you to your face that you are devils in disguise, that you're too bitter. Go and heal from whatever the problem is that's troubling you. Stop masking it as a fight against men. No. And your own, start today. Your papa join, your brothers join. They don't do you. They don't show you shady. I beg you, go and heal first. If you know heal, you will not see the good in others. If you know heal, you will think everybody has to be as bitter as you. If you know heal, you assume that everybody has to be in that darkness, that dark cloud where you've put yourself. I know for sure what feminism is, and I stand for it 100%. But what you cannot do is to tell me how to see, or through the lens to see feminism. You know rich, they know born you well. To some of you purple ladies, you need healing. Not fight for women. You need healing first. To understand who you are. To understand what you're meant to stand for before you come back for it. More wisdom.
Absolutely. I agree. This is what, myself, Sister Ju and Honey Babe have been speaking about. And I think it's just a case of balance. Again, I always say people need to learn social media etiquette. Some arguments are best left. I've had arguments with my friends. We go back and forth. We share. That's what some things are about. You learn, you unlearn, you understand, you misunderstand, and you move on. I also think it's very important that I mention that sometimes not every conversation is for everybody. There's some things that you have no business talking about. Sister, you saying, I beg, what is Purple Women? Basically, Purple Women is like a community group where women are known for like a kind of movement, like the suffragette movement, pretty much. So that's basically what it is. So yeah, feminist pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, so I think it's very important to also know that not everybody is what's the word, is equipped to talk about certain topics. That's what I've understood about this feminism talk as well. Maraji, I think sometimes you have a personality or a persona that people know you for, and there's certain things that you talk about is never going to land well. Think about it. We know lots of celebrities like that. We know lots of public figures like that. Sometimes it's not, and again, I'm not saying this to insult marriage or anything, but sometimes you have to really think about what your niche is, where it's going to land, what you've done in the past, your history, etc. And you see what Auntie Rita said about Maraji, where a couple of weeks ago she spoke against that man that came to talk about men are neglected during postpartum. Men go through postpartum as well. This is how life is. Sometimes women speak about things from their experiences. Human beings in general, we speak about things based on what we experience. You see, Maraja has experienced difficult pregnancies. I think 2 of them. That's why that thing pained her. Are you with me? Somebody else now has experienced DV, all sorts of terrible things from men, and she did not get any help, or the men were still put over them. We've heard about how in Nigeria, when you go and submit a DV case, they will tell you that the police, they don't have, it's a family issue. They don't handle it. People that have experienced that one, they are going to be shouting about feminism. You've experienced pregnancy. Now you know how it feels. Now imagine me that has never been pregnant before, doesn't have any children. I go and talk about postpartum depression and all. Does it not sound stupid? Because I'll be talking about it from the lens of other people, what I have heard, not what I have felt. But I can only fight properly when I have felt it. That's what Maraji did then. That is to say that sometimes people are passionate about things because they have felt it. There was something Auntie B said on one of our shows where your perspective is often your experience. It is your experience. So you can either choose to empathize or move away from it altogether. Right? So as I end this show, I want to just say that let us stick to the definition of feminism. Those that want to redefine feminism, it is not necessary. And like Sister Teju said, when it comes to relationships and all, I think it's more of an agreement. Some people, they are okay with kneeling to give their husbands food. That is their agreement. They're okay with it. It makes them happy. You don't have to judge them because you don't do that in your marriage. There's marriages where men are comfortable being the house husbands, whether it's temporarily or long term. For whatever reason, it just works best. That may not be the norm, but it works for their relationship. We've said it before. I can't, again, I'm a feminist, but I still believe in gender roles. I've said it here. I love cleaning. I love cooking. I went to culinary school for 6 months. I loved it that much where I was just like, let me even see. I bake, I cook a lot. And nobody's going to be arguing with me about if you're cooking or not. Ah, you don't cook for me. Don't I'm even happy to do it because it's something that I use to relieve stress. Do I want to marry a provider? Yes, I do. Do I want to marry a protector? Yes, I do. Do I want to never know anything that's going on with my car? Absolutely. And is a man allowed to also have his own needs and his own expectations of me? Of course he does. Of course he has. Everybody has their own expectations when they get. That's the point. And I think I want to end with choice. I'm a bit tired of feminists not understanding that a very big part of feminism is allowing women make their choices. The choices might not align with your own values, your own morals, or even feminism. I think it's better to say, you know what? I don't understand why you're doing this. It might be unhealthy long term. You might end up feeling like you're not unappreciated or whatever. Advise them and go about it. If for whatever reason the women see the lights later on and come out, don't push them away. Because I see that happen a lot where, but you say that your husband is the best thing that happens to you, are not helping you. And also, I think it's most importantly, because I've seen this happen across the board, where because you would not do what a woman would do, it means that that woman is stupid or that woman is beneath you. And I've said it before. If you have come to a certain point where you've achieved certain things, you have gone through relationships, you're stronger now, you're wiser now, congratulations. Not every woman has. It doesn't give you the right to talk down that woman. By all means, you're passionate, you're angry, say what you have to say about that woman, that relationship, but show empathy. Understand that there's systemic failures. There could be history. There's so many things that cause people to act the way that they act. You may not be able to relate to it because that's not your reality. Very simple. That's what I'm going to say. Anyway, tomorrow we have Sister Circle. We've been away for a long time and we're back. Sister Circle is, of course, myself, Auntie Yinkus, Honey Babe, and Sisi. We're going to be talking about gifts that matter, lessons, legacy, and love we want to give our families. So this is going to be our Christmas edition episode. And yeah, it's just meant to be it's not meant to be too heavy. We're going to be talking about a lot of, again, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia or nostalgic conversations as well. Just what we feel about Christmas, family, and yeah. So join us tomorrow. It is 3:30 EST, which will also be 8:30 BST, 9:30 WAT, right? So that's basically it. And of course, from here, I'm saying season's greetings. I hope this season brings you lots of joy, lots of love, lots of happiness. And I hope that everything that you've worked hard for throughout 2025, I hope that you've managed to do everything you set out to do and you're happy. So, season's greetings. And I will see everybody next time. Everybody, we should all be feminists. It's not cute saying I'm not a feminist. Don't focus on the internet. Let the internet do what the internet does, right? And you can also just have a mind of your own and do the right things. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.